Bag lady, you gon' hurt your back. Dragging all them bags like that. I bet nobody ever told you. All you must hold on to is you, is you, is you. Oh, one day all them bags gon' get in your way. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest? Hello, if you've never seen me before, hi, my name is Yuki, and if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Okay. You guys know there was no way I was going to film this video and not make a song reference. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I like to address my deep tear troughs / under eye circles / further set back eyes, whatever you want to call it, just this situation underneath this area here, how I like to address it when I am applying my makeup. I'm going to be showing you some of my own do's and don'ts that kind of apply to me and what I've discovered in the years that I've been playing around in makeup. So first things first, let's address the situation at hand. These are called tear troughs, tear troughs, however it's pronounced. I'm referring to this area right here. This is not the tear duct area. When you're referring to tear duct, you're referring to right in here, and technically we shouldn't really be calling it the tear duct because a tear duct is not on the outer part of the face. It's inside here, this inner canthus right here of the eye. Anyway, these are tear troughs right here. This is the area in which if I were to cry right now, tears would roll down right in here. This is something that I have had for all my life. It's genetic. This is just how God created me. If you want to laugh, laugh. I don't care. This is just how I've always looked. I know sometimes people talk about under eye bags and, oh, you look really tired, you look really sad, whatever the case is. Like, what do you want me to do? Your problem is not with me. Your problem is with God, okay? So that's that about that. On top of that, I have a dark periorbital region. By periorbital, I mean around the eye, which means all over here, down in here, and all over here. To be honest, if I was not in medical field, I would not know what periorbital was. So I don't know why in the heck I just said that, but that's what it is. If you want to impress your friends with a really big word, say periorbital. Yes, honey. Oh gosh. Okay. It's going to be one of those videos where I just can't. I got to make a joke out of everything. All right, cool. Due to hyperpigmentation, I also have a dark periorbital region, and that includes down in here. I have some darkness down in here. Now, do keep in mind that my hyperpigmentation was actually worse than this. I'm currently using a skincare regimen that is addressing it, and I will be doing a video later on that, but as of right now, I'm still treating it. I'm gonna leave this side bare and then do my makeup on this side of my face. That way you guys can see the difference. I feel like this is another power of makeup video all over again. For those who may not be aware, just keep in mind that you're going to have to match your foundation to your neck, not to your under eye circles, okay? Anyone who says otherwise just does not care about you. You don't need that kind of negativity in your life. If your hyperpigmentation is really, really bad, the first thing you actually want to do is to go ahead and color correct. I used to actually color correct underneath my eyes, but I stopped doing it because I noticed that it was just coming off too orange. You especially want to use a color corrector that is appropriate for your skin tone. The concealer that I use underneath my eyes, it gives me pretty good coverage, and I can always tweak it to give me more coverage by letting it dry down a little bit. And I feel like that is enough to do it for me. You know what I mean? By the way, this is a Fenty Beauty foundation in the shade 410, and it is a perfect match for me and my neck and my chest and my neck and my back and my chest and my neck and my back. Okay. So the lower lash line, I do have a bit of residual black eyeliner because I did film a video before this one. I washed my face and there's still a little bit of gunk there. So that's why it's a tad darker here than it normally is. This portion of my face protrudes and everything else recedes. Well, until you get to about here. When I do my makeup, I normally like to do my eyeshadow first and then go ahead and conceal underneath the under eye. What? What? The under eye area. That's what I meant to say. Conceal the under eye area. That was really redundant. Okay, this is the Makeup Revolution C12 concealer. This is what I normally use as my base for eyeshadows. I think I'll play with that color right there. I think I'm just gonna put this all over the eye, to be honest. As you can see, I tend to leave this area pretty bare, and that's because I wanna add a lighter color there. Once I add a lighter color there, it'll actually flatten or give the illusion that this area is more flattened out. And I tend to bring the color further down as well. Taking the color right below Passion, I think this one is called Vivid. And just gonna use circular motions. Lost some of my passion. Get it? Passion. The skincare regimen I am using is by Rodan & Fields. I'm not sure if anybody knows of Rodan & Fields. I know there's one person on Twitter that told me that they have previously used their products and got really good results from it. So that's what I'm currently using right now. To be honest, I have not seen any other YouTuber who has prominent tear troughs like I do. Some do, but I think mine is probably the most prominent that I've seen so far. And again, there are thousands of YouTubers all over the world. But yeah, I'm special. What can I say? I'm just very special. Something to note is that whenever you're applying eyeshadows, sometimes you'll have fallout and sometimes it'll fall right in here. Unfortunately, if the eyeshadow is pigmented enough and if it's dark enough, even if you go ahead and layer on something else like foundation or concealer on top of it, sometimes it will still show through, which you do not want to happen. So if you end up having fallout and you see right in here, don't take any chances. Just go ahead and wipe it off. This goes for matte shadows and also for bright shimmers. I've noticed that even bright shimmers, when I do have fallout and I don't actually clean it off, he said no. Personally, I think that there are certain eye looks that work for different people. You can clean up your eyeshadows at an angle instead of just kind of letting it sit across. I feel like at an angle, it helps to kind of elongate this area. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. For me anyway, it helps to brighten up the area and just kind of bring it. The tear troughs kind of turn things down and you want to turn it up. Turn it up, turn it up. Watch it all blend out. I'm going to be using my ColourPop concealer. I know when I did my nose contour video, I mentioned that you want to bring your concealer further inward in order to make the nose look slimmer, but it's also effective in spreading out this area, making it one even tone. It helps to make your tear trough look like it's receding further back, especially this part right here that's protruding. Now, as for under eye circles, you want to make sure that you're letting your concealer dry down before going in and blending it right away. The reason being is that you get better coverage that way. I think a lot of people are aware of that actually. So one of the most effective things for addressing those under eye circles is to actually color correct before your foundation or concealer, or whatever the case is. As I mentioned, I no longer color correct just by choice. I could have for this video, but it's already happening, sorry. Of course, when you're concealing underneath the eyes and other highlighted areas of the face, you definitely want to make sure that you're using a concealer that's 1 to 2 shades lighter than your natural skin tone. The reason we use a concealer that's lighter, and some people even use one that's maybe 3 or 4 shades lighter underneath the eyes, what that does is it helps to brighten the under eye area. So if you have dark eye circles, if you have prominent tear troughs, you can use something like that. I just don't want to go too light just because I feel like it starts to look too artificial, in my opinion. For my face, other people's faces are different. The face is all lights and shadows. With your tear troughs, that's why you'll never see me just do that little like triangle thing. I know there's some people who prefer to do their under eye concealer as like just that little triangle right there. That's why you'll never see me do that, because I have this I don't even know what to call it, like a flap or just this fold of skin right here, and I need that area covered as well because I need this to all look seamless and like it's one shade. So if I can get all of this to look seamless, like it's all one shade, I can make this fold here look like it's not as prominent as it really is. The reason you can see it so much is because right here is darker than here. If I were to tuck this up, you can see that it's not that bad. But because I have extra skin here that's casting a shadow into this area, it's making it look a little bit more boom. So I want to get rid of that shadow by applying my under eye concealer all here. I blend out my under eye area last because that area tends to crease for me quite a lot. So what you can even do is you can blend out the perimeter first if you like, so you don't bring it out too far. And as you can see, I'm taking it up. You don't have to do that. When I'm going in and blending my under eye concealer right in here, I take it up a little bit. And the reason I do that is to, again, give me that all one color illusion, because sometimes I'll see like a little shadow cast up here and I want to get rid of that as much as possible. So I'll bring this up just a bit. I'll look up. I may have applied too much concealer, to be honest. So already you can see that coverage. It's something. So I take the tip of my sponge and I'm just kind of blending upwards up at the edge right here. And you see how that cleaned up the eyeshadow. It really makes my under eye area look elongated. You don't have to bring your under eye concealer all the way up here like I am. You can actually cut this with your foundation or with a concealer that's close to your skin tone. I'm just taking the butt of my sponge and blending this out right here where this transitions, so that way I'm not stuck with a harsh line. You definitely do not have to add as much concealer as I did, but I like to add a little bit more than the average person. And the average person, I feel like, adds very little concealer, but that's because one, I'm not using a color corrector, and two, I want to get as much coverage as possible. Do note that the more products you pile onto the under eye area, the more cakey it's going to look. So just something for you to be aware of. Once I'm satisfied with how it's blended, I take my Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder and I just use a little bit onto my sponge, dab it in repeatedly until the product disappears into the skin. Here is another huge thing. For your under eyes, you want to set it with a powder that is smoothing. That is the one favor you can do for yourself if you're trying to get rid of under eye circles or you're trying to decrease the appearance of deep set eyes. Smoothing powder, hands down, it makes a world of difference. Blend out those fine lines as much as possible and then go right in with the powder. I tap off the excess on the back of my hand and then I go right in. Make sure to look up so you get every little cranny. And again, I don't bake the under eye area. If you do not have dry under eyes, you can bake and that'll actually benefit you even more. But I personally do not bake because my under eye area is dry. So, you know, look at the difference between underneath this eye and this eye after the smoothing powder has gone on. Ridiculous, right? Now, I don't know if you can tell, but just looking head on, you can see that it actually makes my eyes look smaller. At least this side does anyway. And that's because I don't have this coming down, making the area underneath the eye look larger. And I do not have any product underneath here at the lower lash line. I don't know if you guys remember this, but I kind of like to call this a Nicki Minaj because this used to be one of her looks where she would have all this drama going on up here and then bare nothing down here, and it would just be smoothened out, plain surface, donezo. And this is exactly what that looks like right now. There are two things you can do to make your eye look larger again. You can apply a waterline color that's close to your skin tone. You can use white. White is very brightening. It's going to make your eyes look significantly larger. I'm not going to be doing that today, but that's just something to note. What can happen sometimes is sometimes I will get a little bit of my concealer into the waterline when I'm blending it out. And at that point, you know, that doesn't really bother me. I'm just like, yeah, it happens. I feel like just looking at this alone is a big enough difference for you guys to see what the deal is. This looks far more prominent and more obvious than this does. I'm not saying that makeup is going to take away those deep set eyes or prominent tear troughs that you have. That's not possible. Makeup can only give the illusion of making things look smaller, making things look larger, making things look like they're receding back, making things look like they're coming more forward or towards the person who's observing you. Makeup is not cosmetic surgery, you guys, so do not expect for your tear troughs to disappear all the way. They're just going to look less obvious. I think I'm actually going to leave the under eye area plain the way it is because I think it gets my point across a little stronger. I'm going to use my Maybelline Master Chrome highlighter in Molten Gold and I'm going to take that to the inner corner. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but adding this inner corner color did kind of bring a little bit of those shadows out right in here a little bit, but it's not too big a difference. Anything that you do down here to the lower lash line, if you bring it too far down, you could potentially end up making this area look more prominent. So that's something to be aware of. That's a mistake that I've actually made before in the past. So if you want something really, really smoky, especially to the lower lash line, keep a majority of that smokiness over here. You don't want to bring it towards your inner corner because it's going to make this look, what am I trying to say? It's going to make this tear trough look more, I keep saying the word prominent. I think by the end of this video, you guys are going to be like, take a shot every time she says prominent. What I'm trying to say is keep that smokiness or any color that you have, keep it primarily to the outer part of your lower lash line. If you bring it too far in, you risk this becoming more obvious and you don't want that. That's actually a mistake I've made several times, even recently, and it ends up making your eye look really messy and you lose that seamlessness and just overall smoothness that you have going on to the under eye area. The irony of this look, this really feels like my Power of Makeup video all over again because I had similar colors like this. The backdrop was the same pink. I'm just gonna apply eyeliner. I have mentioned before that Nigerian artists especially tend to do this dip to the inner corner a lot. Like on everyone. And the freaking ombre lips that always makes everybody's lips look smaller than they really are. That's not the kind of video we're filming today. It's the cat eye basically where the eyeliner comes down in here. I have tried it once or twice. No, I tried it twice. And in both times that I did that cat eyeliner technique where it comes down in here, the feline liner, there you go. In both of those instances, I noticed that it also drew more attention to my tear trough. Again, you have something black and pointy coming right in here, just sticking out, saying, hey, what's up? Look at me. Guess what? It's gonna draw attention here. So that's something to note as well. I just messed it up. Look, I just messed it up. Okay. So we'll just go ahead and ignore that right there. I'm just gonna spray this side of my face with MAC Fix Plus to get rid of that powdery look. I'm just contouring a little bit because I forgot to do that earlier. So I actually will not be highlighting because I don't want to take away from what's truly going on. But when I highlight normally, I tend to take it from here to about right here. But yeah, I think those are all the tips that I have for you guys. Again, if you do want to apply color to the lower lash line, try not to bring it down too far because then you risk losing this goodness and making it look more like this still goodness but bag goodness. And if your only issue is dark under eyes, then color correcting and applying the products appropriately will be enough to get you completely together. Another thing I didn't really discuss that affects all of this and will affect your end result is the effectiveness of the products that you use. If you're using a concealer that doesn't have as good coverage, or let's say it just looks really patchy or tends to leave these dark spots whenever you go in to blend it out, you're not going to get an even base that you want underneath the eyes. Whew, that was a lot of talking. I hope that you guys learned something new. If not, hopefully it was reinforcement for maybe a few things that you already knew. If you're not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and also hit the bell to get all notifications so you don't miss any of my uploads. If you have any advice for anyone with these, let's call them under eye specialties, go ahead and let us know down below in the comment section. If you're not following me on social media, you are missing out. I am on Instagram and Twitter at Yuki_. I'm also on Snapchat and Facebook. Everything you need will be down below in the description box. And yeah, that is all for this video. Thank you guys once again for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one, Lord willing. Stay blessed. Bye.